Good morning you guys, it's Karen, and by popular request I am reviewing this. This is the QRX Labs Niacinamide and Retinol Serum. Yeah, I had quite a few requests to buy this and to try it, and it was £10. I bought it from the Victoria Labs site, £10 for 60ml. So a really good price, and I thought why not, because I'm always trying different retinols. I'm happy to try different retinols because I generally am using tretinoin around my eyes, as you know, on my flooding plan, and then on my face and neck I'm just using retinol in whatever form I happen to be trying at the time, but I don't use the one from The Ordinary. That one for some reason really irritates my skin. So I ordered this one, and I have used it quite a lot actually. I'm down to I didn't realise how much I'd used of this. If you've seen any of my videos on retinol or tretinoin, etc., you may remember that I've talked before about how mixing niacin with retinol or retinoids is a good thing, and there have actually been studies that have shown that using the two of these ingredients together is very beneficial to the outcome of using retinoids and retinols, because niacin actually strengthens the barrier of your skin, and like I said, the two together has been shown in studies to be much more beneficial. It means that your skin is more hardy basically, because like I said, it strengthens the stratum corneum, the layer of your skin, the outer layer of your skin I should say. So yeah, a really great combination. So we're starting off on a good foot. I really like the packaging. It's in a nice dark glass bottle, so well protected, because obviously we know that retinol is an unstable ingredient. It's in a pump dispenser, which is great, and I have to say this is the best pump dispenser that I've used. Unlike the Garden of Wisdom one, it does come straight out where you expect it to. You can see that it's just a clear liquidy type serum. This serum, by the way, I would liken it to a sort of hyaluronic acid niacin type serum, in that it feels very watery when it goes on, and you think, oh, it's just one of those watery type serums, but as you rub it in it starts to feel a little bit silky, and I really like that, because I personally don't like hyaluronic acids, or even like The Ordinary niacin. To me it just feels too watery and too matte. It doesn't feel like a nice element of my skincare, if that makes any sense. Whereas this, when you rub it in, it feels there's a little bit of slip when you rub it in, and it just feels nice and smooth. You know, your skin feels really lovely after you've rubbed it in. It doesn't feel like you've just rubbed in water. So I really like the feel of it. There's no scent to it at all, but yeah, really like the packaging. Like I said, when you use the pump dispenser, it's not one that's going to fly everywhere. It is a really nice packaging. It dries pretty quickly, and I didn't find any pilling, because this does have hyaluronic acid in it. In fact, I think it's the second ingredient. First ingredient is spring water, I think, and then the second ingredient is hyaluronic acid. So yeah, no pilling or balling up with any of my other skincare so far, and I've tried it out with, you know, all my oils, etc. No balling up whatsoever. So that is a relief, because that is just completely off-putting for me, and often happens with hyaluronic acid for me. The ingredients are lovely. I've got them up on the screen here. There's some really nice things in here. There's aloe leaf. Of course, it's got the niacinamide in it. It's got jojoba oil in it, or jojoba oil in it, wheat germ oil, vitamin E, green tea extract, propolis extract, which is, I suspect, why it's vegetarian and not vegan, because propolis extract is from bees, and that makes this not vegan. Go to cola extract, horsetail extract. You know, there's some really nice things in there. It does have alcohol in it, but it's very, very low on the list, and not something that I would worry about, because it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. Look, it's probably like 20 on the list, not maybe even more than that. The only ingredient that does have a question mark for me, but doesn't 100% put me off, is the third ingredient is witch hazel. And witch hazel is one of those that I would like to do an ingredient spotlight on, actually, because I need to do more research into it. But the research that I know is really divided. It's one of those controversial ingredients that some people believe that it is beneficial, some people believe that it is sensitizing and irritating. for two different reasons. One, because witch hazel is often extracted with alcohol, so there is an alcohol element to it, and two, because it has a lot of tannins in it, which can be destroyed in the extraction, but tannins can be irritating to skin. But like I said, it depends on the levels in the witch hazel and exactly how it was extracted, and so it's often difficult to know if something is going to be irritating or not without actually using it. And even then, you know, when I say about fragrances being irritating, you can't often tell the irritation that's going on. Your skin can become sensitized without you knowing it. So that's the only one that has a question mark for me. But I have to say, I really like the formula of this, so it hasn't put me off using it. The most interesting part for me about this is that I haven't had any irritation, especially on my neck. That's where I'd expect to see that I was using retinol. And in fact, that's why I emailed QRX Labs and said, is this pure retinol, or what type of retinol is this? Because at 1%, I have never used anything, certainly on my neck, that wouldn't react. And in fact, I normally avoid my neck with retinols because it does react to it. Even to the 0.2% in squalane from The Ordinary, my neck reacted. It doesn't react to the La Roche-Posay one. I'm trying to think what other ones have I used recently. But 1%, I would have put money that a 1% retinol would bring my neck out in red blotches at the very least, and make it itchy. But I have had zero irritation. So I tried to use it twice a day on a couple of days just to see if that, you know, sparked any irritation, and it absolutely didn't. I don't personally want to use it twice a day because I want to be using like vitamin C and whatnot in the morning before my sunscreen, and I don't want to use too many products in the morning. So I just want to use this once in the evening. I think that's all there is to tell you, other than, is it even worth telling you this? I don't know whether this will even benefit anybody, but I suppose to give full disclosure, if you like, I still have a very small, I don't even know if you'd call it a doubt, but when I was looking into the company, QRX Labs, there's very little information about the company out there. And normally when you look into a company, you can find like public information about a company, and you can find the face of the company, and you can find the backstory to the company, and you can find a lot about them. You can normally even find where they buy their products, and there's a lot that you can normally find about a company, and I can't find an awful lot about this company. But when I was looking for that, and something obviously spurred me to do that search, and I think it was the fact that I was like, really, 1% retinol? I've used this a couple of times a day and I have zero irritation. Is there really 1% in here? But when I did that search of the company, there were quite a few searches that were trying to find out if this was a real company or not. And it seemed to be based on the fact that, I think it was a year or a couple of years ago, they started off, this is not a new company, they started off selling high level facial peels. And so say about 50% glycolic peel, something like that. And they still do sell these peels. But what the people were complaining about was, how can it be that level of a peel? Because they didn't sell a neutralizer at the time. And so quite rightly, they were saying, how on earth can you sell a peel without a neutralizer if it really is that level? And people didn't believe it was that percentage. There certainly hasn't been any evidence to say that they aren't a real company, or that wasn't the case, because now they do sell a neutralizer, so you can't see what was going on at the time. Maybe there was a neutralizer on their site and they recommended you buy it. I don't know. It's like I said, it's very difficult to find out whether that was just the rumour mill. And so for me, my test was, I'm going to email them and see if they come back to me. And they did. So they've replied to me. They replied very quickly and have told me that it's pure retinol. So I'm happy with that. I'm never sure if it's worth sharing things like that with you, because it's just a thought that I have, you know, and it was just part of my research when I was looking at this, and you know what my thoughts were on the product. And it's not anything, there's no evidence to say that they are not a genuine company, and they have done nothing but prove otherwise at the moment. But at the same time, like I said, I like to give you all of my thoughts and all of my thinking in case there is anything out there that I'm not aware of, and maybe you guys are aware of it. So anyway, that's everything. So far so good. I am going to continue to use this. I'm using this every night, and I'm going to continue to do so. There is another product that really interests me on their website, which I'm going to buy, which is their drying lotion. I have used for years the Mario Badescu drying lotion, but it had alcohol in it. And so I then went over and used, oh goodness, I can't even remember the name of it, but another one that didn't have alcohol in it, but it just wasn't as good. They have a drying lotion that doesn't have alcohol in it. However, it does have, I think it's an essential oil that I need to double check how irritating that could be. But to use it on a spot, I'm not so bad. When it's, you know, a fragrance like that, if I'm going to put it all over my face, that's one thing, but to just put it on a spot is another. And I have found these drying lotions to just be amazing, that have got sulfur in them, and overnight they just seem to really reduce spot size. And so that's something I'm really interested in getting. And I would also be interested in trying their peels, because in my research of all different types of acids, you know, like salicylic acid, glycolic acid, the most benefit seems to come from peels. And so yeah, that would be something I'd be really interested in trying. So yeah, so far so good. Would love to know if you have tried this, or if you've tried any of the QRX products at all. Please let us know. Let us know what your experiences have been with the company, have been with the products. Have you had any good, bad experiences? That's all really useful information. Put that in the comments. I'll list all of my makeup, etc. in the comments as well, in the description, not in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon.